So you want to cook more, but you keep running into these little issues. Hello, my dear friends. Raisa, nutritionist and founder of Nutrinut. If this is your first time here, I'm welcoming you to the community with arms wide open. And if this is not your first time, thank you so much for being part of this Nutrinut family. It really means the world to me. On my previous video, I did talk a little bit about why you're not losing weight and what are the two possible reasons why that is not happening, why you're not able to really stick to the diet. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to provide the link in the description, so make sure to check that out. It might surprise you what you discover about what's really happening behind the scenes. But I also finished that video with one main tip, which is what I really like to work with clients. And I really believe that this right here is the key to healthy eating and also to doing it in a sustainable way. And that is getting back to the kitchen, starting to cook more, finding that percentage of homemade meals versus more flexible, like that percentage that works for you. So whether it's your 70% home cooked, homemade meals versus your 30% being a little bit more flexible, or 80-20, 90-10, even 60-40, whatever feels realistic for you in your current lifestyle. A very big part of succeeding in this journey is actually being honest with yourself and seeing what you're able to do and to accomplish. That's not going to overwhelm you. That's going to be doable. Because if you set really high, amazing but extremely unrealistic goals for yourself, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep up with it, and it might not help you to actually adopt this way of living in the long term. And this is what we want, right? We want to implement these tips and start moving more in that direction of fresh, of homemade, of knowing where your food is coming from, knowing what's in your food. Really important questions. But let's go back to the topic. One of the main things that I feel happens to all of us when we're starting something new is actually getting overwhelmed. When we have to do something that we have no clue how to go about it, or it's like speaking a foreign language kind of situation that you really have zero idea what you're doing, that can lead to feeling insecure, to feeling easily overwhelmed with things that might even be simple, but since it's something new for us, it tends to overwhelm us. And that's perfectly normal. So the important thing here is when you want to cook more, you have to plan and also get a little bit more organized. Planning the day to go to the supermarket for me has been fundamental. If you just say, I'm going to wing it, you kind of leave it, no, I'm lazy today, I'm going to go tomorrow and the day after. And that kind of sets you up to coming one day to open your fridge and realizing that you have no food there. So the first step is always separating a day to do your groceries. Personally, I like to do this either on a Friday or on a Saturday. I really avoid Sunday because Sunday for me is more like a relaxation day and I don't want to be running errands. We already know that on those 2 days, we're probably going to be going to the supermarket and to get our food. So you plan it. You know that you're going to go. No excuses. The second thing is actually getting organized around your trip, right? Before even going to the supermarket, is actually checking your pantry and your fridge to make sure that you're not buying and not repeating items, right? I've been super guilty of doing this. I feel that most of us have, kind of going to the supermarket and wondering, do I have like tomato paste cans, or like, do I have an onion? And having no clue because you didn't do that really quick check-in in all of your food stashes to see if you really need something or not. So check your pantry, check your fridge, both of them, and your freezer too. Don't forget your freezer. Still talking about the supermarket here. Make sure that you don't go when you're hungry. Now, you might have heard this tip already, and heck, you might have already experienced it yourself, arriving to the supermarket and just wanting to buy everything that's in front of you. Everything looks amazing. Everything looks delicious. The reason for that is because you're hungry. That leaves you open and vulnerable to make unwise decisions. And that's that. And part of getting organized is also being prepared for the week. So on my weekends, after I already went to the supermarket, I do really enjoy to take a few hours either on Saturday or Sunday to start preparing the food for the week. I might start cooking some things, like for example, like beans. I can leave it soaking the night before, and then I might cook a batch on Sunday or something like that, just to have something for the week. Chickpeas are another one that I do like to kind of have cooked before, or sweet potatoes, because I do like to transform sweet potatoes into different types of recipes during the week, like pie crust or like a pizza crust. I really like to use either sweet potato or chickpeas. So those are two things that I've already noticed that I implement a lot in my recipes during the week. So having it pre-cooked and kind of already ready to go on the weekend really makes my life easier and sets me up for success. I want you to think of the foods that you typically do enjoy to eat on a day-to-day basis and include your snacks here too, right? Think about your snacks, think about your breakfast. Is there anything that you can do on the weekend to kind of speed up your process for the weekdays? If you're someone that's at home during the week, you might not have to prepare that much because you might have a little bit more time at home to cook every day. If you're someone who has to go to an office or to step away from the house, or you simply don't have that much time, meal prepping during the weekend will actually really set you up for amazing success when it comes to healthy eating. Last but not least, when it comes to planning and getting organized, another thing that I plan for when it comes to my personal routine is making sure that I use all of my leftovers. So like I mentioned, I go to the supermarket usually either Friday night or on a Saturday. So I make Fridays my leftover days, which what that means is that I make sure that I use all of my veggies, all of my fruits, even all of my cooked food from the week. And I make sure to have that on my meals on Friday, or even if it's too much and there's still some left over, I'll end up eating that on Saturday. But the point is, you want to make sure that you're eating everything you make within the week. Remember, when it comes to cooked food, you typically don't want to leave it for more than 5 days in the fridge, or things tend to go bad. And a really unpleasant part of perhaps, eating more at home is having things kind of spoiling in the back of your fridge. And I mean, again, this has happened to me multiple times, having to open a container with something that's been there for a couple of weeks. And, there's nothing pleasant about that from the smell point of view, from how it looks. And when it comes to the heart too, because it just hurts so much to know that I'm kind of contributing to food waste, right? What are some things that you have been personally struggling with in the kitchen? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another video.